Hey guys, what's up? It's Alec Torelli. Welcome back to an episode of the Hand of the Day from the Win Macau.
Hand of the Day.
I'm out here playing some poker, and while I was waiting for one of the bigger games, I jumped into a 100-200 game. I also did this because it's a great way to warm up, and just like other athletes end up warming up before they play a match, I find that, you know, when I first day back in Macau, I don't want to jump into the 1K, 2K game or whatever's running, like super big game, and end up playing when I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of poker, back into being here, back into the mindset of being a poker player. And so I really recommend doing this when you first take that trip to Vegas, especially if you're not playing poker every single day. I think it's a great way to end up warming up in the game. I found myself an interesting hand that I'd like to share with you guys. So limp from a VIP in mid position, limp from a VIP on the button. I'm in the small blind with Queen Jack. I call, and big blind checks. So pot is 800. Flop comes Jack, 10, 3, 2 diamonds. I bet 700. Fold, button calls. Turn is a deuce. I bet 2,500. Button calls. So in this spot, I'm putting the button on a pretty weak hand. Maybe he has something like a gut shot with a flush draw. I mean, after all, he limped on the button. So we have to kind of narrow his range down based on what he can have in the specific situation. He limped on the button, so he probably doesn't have a strong hand, especially because he limped after a limper. And he just flat called the flop on Jack 10-3. There really aren't that many two-pair combos he can have. Maybe he has like Jack 3 suited or 10-3 suited, but he shouldn't really have those hands pre-flop. I also have a Jack which blocks Jack 10, and he didn't raise me on the flop, and he didn't raise me on the turn, leading me to believe I have the best hand pretty much 100% of the time. So I really don't see a hand that he can have that's better than mine. Maybe he has like King Jack offsuit, but he'd probably raise with that pre-flop. So I'm discounting a lot of these hands based on how he played the hand. And you can see I use what's called a funnel. I use basically a hand range funnel, which is something I invented to help me narrow down exactly what my opponents have based on how they play the hand. So each street, you'd start with a wide range of hands, and then each action they take, you're narrowing down their hand based on all the different actions they took. You could eliminate certain hands from their range. So he didn't raise pre-flop. He can't have, you know, a big pair. He didn't raise the flop, he's unlikely to have a set. He just flat called the flop and the turn, he's unlikely to have two pairs. So you can start eliminating hands from his range and really getting a clear idea of what your opponent actually has. Now we get to the river, which comes in offsuit 5. And here I was pretty tempted to bet for value, trying to get value from something like a 10 because he's the VIP or a weak Jack. But I also realized that all the draws missed. And something that's, you know, important to do in spots like these is have a calling range. You don't want to just be checking here, allow your opponent to bet and bluff, and then fold all of your hands. Otherwise, you're going to be too exploitable, and you're not going to be able to pick off bluffs when your opponent has a hand that's weak. So because I'm playing against someone that has a very wide range, he's likely to play any two cards in this position, I think check calling leads to a higher result. Even though I might be giving up value sometimes that he has a 10 and checks behind, you have to weigh that against the times that he has air and decides to bet. Again, I'm not even considering the times that I have the worst hand, because if I have the worst hand, I bet he's gonna call, I'm gonna lose. I check, he bets, I'm gonna call, he's gonna win. So regardless of what happens, I'm gonna lose the same money when I'm behind. So you're really just trying to evaluate what to do when you're ahead and how to win the most money possible. I opt to check, he bets 10K, which is more than the pot. And here, this bet size is very, very polarizing. Polarizing in poker means that it's strongly weighted towards one or the other. So it's either the nuts or nothing. As we talked about earlier, there really aren't that many possibilities or combinations of hands that he can have that are the nuts, simply because he didn't raise me at any point in the hand and he didn't raise pre-flop, so it's really, really hard for him to have a very strong hand. That said, I think I have a pretty easy call here. All the draws missed. He is a VIP. He can have any two cards, something even as wide as, you know, Queen 6 suited and just missed a flush draw. I call without thinking, and he turns over 10s for a set, and I lose. So how the hell did he have 10s there? Frankly, even though he won the hand, what you have to do as a poker player, especially, you know, if you want to separate yourself from an amateur, what you have to do is separate the results from the merit of your decisions. Sometimes you will make a decision that you think is the right decision long term, but you'll still lose. This is going to be a profitable call, hands down, slam dunk, and I'm super confident saying that, even though I lost the hand. Part of what you have to understand is that sometimes you could play the hand the right way and still be wrong. I would love to hear your thoughts on this hand. If you want more insight into how I make these decisions, how I narrow my opponent's range down step by step, street by street, subscribe to Conscious Poker. I give you a free access to my hand range funnel, which is exactly the process that I use to put my opponents on ranges like this one to make winning. Wait, I lost that hand. Anyway, long-term good decisions, which is part of the process of what's going to make you money long-term. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in a comment below. Did I play it like a fish? Am I just out of my mind here trying to defend myself, or is this the right actual play long-term? If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. As always, more awesome content coming your way from the Win Macau. Talk to you guys soon. Cheers.